so much for being here. It's very nice of you people to find time for this. I'm really, really, really thankful to you. Because this is Mumbai, I know people have to travel long distance. So to see you here, I'm really excited. I would like to say thanks, a big thanks to Bhavna. Without her, this would be not possible. So Bhavna did everything, like I was just emailing her, she did all the work. I came here and everything is ready for me. And I would also like to say thanks to Reina, where is she? Reina is there, and Nandita Shah for promoting the event, and with Sharan India. And Samir for organizing the food, which you will eat soon, but before that you have to hear me. So with that, let's kick off our event, starting with Mumbai. I'm very happy, this is my first out of 6, this is the first city. And as you all know, I am with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a non-profit based in Washington, DC. And we promote healthy nutrition for diabetes prevention and even treatment. And we are running our programs not only in the United States, but also in, as you know, in India, in China, South America, Japan. So we want to show the world the evidence behind plant-based nutrition, the power of a diet which can reverse your diabetes and heart disease. So when I'm talking about the diabetes, and if I ask you around, can you name any 3 diseases which have become a common household name in India or even in the world? Can you please name? Cancer, diabetes, somebody says heart disease, and
high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, right? Arthritis, joint pains. Don't you think that most of the people are complaining about joint pains? So what is happening? Thyroid, yeah. All these, and most of these are chronic diseases. So our objective is to understand the therapeutic effects of a plant-based diet for diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure, cancer, and understand the harmful effects of fats. So tonight, after the presentation, you will be clear about how fat is playing a big role in your lifestyle and what we are facing with, how fats is becoming a big problem. So as I told you, diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, common diseases. So if we talk about, let's focus on diabetes because we cannot talk about every condition and they are all connected. So if you see diabetes prevalence, I'm sorry, I was blocking few people. So if you see Mumbai, 9.3% diabetes prevalence. And do you know what is 9.3%? That means like 9.3 people out of 100 people, or roughly 10 people out of every 100 people in Mumbai is diabetic. That means 1 in 10 people in Mumbai is diabetic. Don't you think this is alarming, isn't it? 1 in 10 people is diabetic. So if you see the overall population of diabetes in India, you can see right now we have 65 million people. Can anybody tell me what is 65 million in crore? Yeah, 6.5 crores, right? It's huge. And if you see what happened from the year 2000 to 2013, the diabetes population doubled. Our population in 2000 was 1 billion. In 2013, it was 1.2 billion. So the population didn't double, but the diabetes population doubled. So you can see just 13 years. That's huge. So let me tell you what is happening inside the cell. You know, this will give you an idea because normally you hear about diabetes and the numbers, but you don't know exactly what is happening inside the body. Being a researcher and being a scientist, I think this is the best platform I can tell you, and you can then understand the concept and then you can relate what is happening with your diet. So this is the cell, and you all know that our bodies, when we eat food, it is converted into glucose, right? And insulin, which is depicted there as a key, has to bind to those red things you can see here. It has to bind to its receptors. And once insulin binds to its receptors, then only you can see the glucose can come inside the cell. You see what I mean? So insulin has to bind to the receptor, then only it will allow the glucose to come in, and that's only we can power our muscle cells or our liver cells. That's the fuel. They need that. And just imagine, if something goes wrong with the lock and key mechanism, that insulin is binding to the lock or unable to bind, which I will explain more, then the glucose cannot enter the cell. And it will keep revolving in your blood. And that's what's happening in diabetes. And that's why you have more complications, because the glucose keeps revolving in your bloodstream. And do you see these yellow particles? These are intramyocellular lipid. These are fat particles. And according to researchers, these are the ones which are causing insulin resistance. That means insulin is unable to do its function because of these fat globules. What is happening? That means we are eating a diet high in fats. The fats, they enter the cell, and then they don't allow the insulin to do its function. It's clear? I cannot hear you.
Yes.
Awesome. So what happened in the pancreas then? Because insulin is made in the pancreas. Insulin is a hormone. Pancreas, what it does, pancreas keep response to the insulin resistance by making more and more insulin, right? Because insulin is unable to do its function. So what is pancreas thinking? Oh, let's produce more and more insulin. It produces more, but then after some time it just gives up because insulin is not being utilized. The pancreas loses its power to make more insulin, and that's what you see that you have diabetes. Then the symptoms start arriving because that time you don't have even insulin left. So that's the extreme condition of diabetes. It starts with insulin resistance, it ends up with pancreas not able to make any insulin. And these are some complications which you all know. Blindness, you all know that those are diabetic, they have problem because there is a blood circulation behind the retina, and because of these glucose circulating in the bloodstream, we have this blindness. Amputations, very common. And do you know a lot of people are on dialysis who are diabetic? And heart disease is the number one cause of heart disease is diabetes. So many complications, and we are all living with it. What we are doing is we are not trying to understand what is going wrong in our body, what is going wrong in our diet. So far you have understood the diabetes epidemic, right? The insulin regulation, how it helps, and the symptoms, the complications of diabetes. Think about it. What could be the cause of diabetes epidemic in India? Is it the diet? Do you all agree?
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. So when we are talking about the diet, let me show you some numbers. Chicken production. You all agree that we are eating a lot of chicken. Everywhere you go, it's all about chicken nuggets, chicken patties, whatever. Chicken has like tremendous influence in our diet. What is happening? You see the numbers. And this is all published studies. It is from Food and Agriculture Organization published study. So this is 1.9 million tons chicken in the year 2005 to 3.6 in 2014. So just like a period of 9 years, our chicken production has doubled again. And you see that this problem of diabetes and heart disease, like we are seeing in this last 10-15 years, right? Previously, we were not seeing so many cases. What about milk? The same thing. Our milk, that means we are consuming more dairy products. So again, from 92.5 million tons in the year 2005 to 132.4 million tons in 2030. That is 132.4 million tons per year. So these dairy products and chicken, you can see the numbers, published studies, evidence is very strong that we are consuming a diet high in saturated fats from animal products, from chicken, from dairy. And if we see what we are eating, you can all relate very easily because that's what we see every day. A lot of oil in our food, a lot of meat and chicken. Processed food. You see like McDonald's and KFCs are popping up like everywhere in India and China. And we are following the Western diet. Let me tell you that wherever people have followed the Western dietary pattern, that means a diet high in proteins and fats, type 2 diabetes and obesity has followed. It's a fact. You come to America and you will see people like so obese. India is still lucky because we don't have that high obesity, but we have abdominal obesity. You will see like a lot of bellies there. It's like genetic. But we know for sure that whenever we will follow these dietary patterns from the Western world, we will have problems. And my question is that, do you think our diet, our traditional Indian diet is that bad that we have to have American influence for everything? No. We have an excellent diet. So why, and let me tell you more about it, why this food is a problem. Remember I told you that we will learn about fats. These foods are full of saturated fats, and the fat has the densest calories. You know calories like, I will show you a picture. Like this is a very beautiful graphic which will explain you what happens in your stomach, right? You have eaten 400 calories of oil and like let's say oily foods. So just see the space, how much it is in your stomach. You have already eaten 400 calories and it's like you are able to eat, you can eat more, right? So instead of 400, you might end up eating like 600 or 1000 or 1400. What about chicken? Again, the same thing, 400 calories will fill this much and then still you will have space to eat more. What about fruits and vegetables? 400 calories, you are full. You have the feeling of, oh, maine acha kha liya khana, now I don't need more. But this is good for you. So you don't know what is happening is that you are eating a lot, but still, as far as calories are there, you are not, it's like nothing. So just to give you the number, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So when a diet which is full of saturated fats we are eating more calories. And a diet which is carbohydrate based is only 4 calories per gram. So if I ask you, 1 gram of rice will have how many calories? 4, yeah, because it's a carbohydrate. What about 1 gram of chapati? 4. What about 1 gram of olive oil? 9. 1 gram of safflower oil? So-called heart healthy. It's not, right? There is no oil can be heart healthy. Yes, this is the point, that when we are eating fats in our diet, chicken, cheese, dairy, milk, we are consuming a lot of fats. And fats, I told you in the very beginning, that what is happening inside the cell. To give you some more numbers, the leanest beef has 29% fat from calories, as compared to chicken, which is 23, very close, right? People think, oh, we will eat skinless chicken, and that we will, because most of the doctors have that kind of thing that, oh, you are having heart problem, you can eat chicken. But that's an old theory. The modern research, the modern evidence says that even the skinless chicken breast has 23% fat and it's bad for you. Because you don't see that. Just removing the outside, that how it is called, charbi and the chickeni and the fat. What about the fats inside the chicken the cells, right? It's still there, you cannot remove it. And if you compare it with vegetables, you can see that our like fenugreek, methi ki bhaji and beans and rice, look at the calories from fat. 1, 4, 1 to 5% depending on the variety of rice. And you see, compare it with these, you can easily make out that a diet, a plant-based diet, is low in fat, it has good, and it has like a lot of fiber. So again, chicken, 23% calories are nothing but fat. So what should we eat? Milk? No, because it's a dairy product, a lot of saturated fats. Can anybody tell me what's the percentage of saturated fats in milk? Like how many calories percentage wise milk derives from fat? Anybody with any number? Any guesses? 50%. 50% calories are totally from fat. And then some people will say, what about the skim milk? Then there are other problems. You have high protein, you have high sugar, tons of hormones. Do we need that? We have to see the evidence. Always think about, whenever you are talking to anybody, whenever you are learning new things, think about what is the evidence. Am I telling you anything which is beyond evidence, which is like I'm just saying that, we have seen that? No. The research, we have done the research, and then only we are educating you. And on the other hand side, you have mangoes, melons, bananas, lentils, greens. Eat as much as you can. No calorie count. Forget about we have to limit our food. No. As long as your food is plant-based, eat as much as you can. So I want to tell you a study which is this advanced tobacco, no alcohol. Try to avoid. For us, those are the variables. You know what? When we are doing studies, we don't want some people having alcohol, some people having tobacco, and then we compare. So we cannot compare the results. So this population, just the diet. And what they eat is, they eat meat and dairy, and some people they just eat only eggs, and some people they just eat fish. So it's a beautiful scenario for scientists to do a study. So we did 60,000 participants in this study, and it's a study from American Diabetes Association, and it's an observational study. Does anybody know what is an observational study? No. Observational study is something where we don't intervene. There's a population, let's say in this hall, you guys are sitting, and I ask you to fill out a survey and tell me what kind of diet you are eating. That's observational study, because I'm not influencing you, I'm just seeing you, what you have done and what you do. So no intervention. That is called, from scientific term, you say observational study. So they studied this population, and when you see the results, body mass index, you know what is body mass index, right? The ratio between your weight and height, right? So it should be below 25. That's the recommended. So if you compare these people, you see the non-vegetarians have 28.8 kilogram per meter square of body mass index. And if you compare with all different groups, this is semi-vegetarian, some kind of meat. This is pesco-vegetarian, those who consume some fish. And this is lacto-ovo-vegetarian, also milk and eggs. And these are vegans. So if you see, in these 60,000 people, the vegans have the lowest body mass index. Period. This is the fact, this is the study. What about type 2 diabetes prevalence in the same group? So if you see type 2 diabetes prevalence, non-vegetarians have 7.6% of type 2 diabetes, while semi-vegetarian 6.1%, and again vegan the best, those who are just on plant-based diet, no animal products in their diet, they are best with their body mass index as well as lowest diabetes prevalence. So why do plant-based diets cause weight loss and reduce the risk of heart disease? Right? So the question arises because we have done the observational study. We want to know, being scientists, we want to know what is happening. So, as I told you, fiber, plant-based diet is all about fiber, right? Because you don't find fiber in animal products. There is nothing. It's only in plant-based products, and it's not soluble. I mean, there are two types, soluble as well as insoluble. But majority of them helps you in cleaning up your system. Because fiber, if your diet has fiber, it will not allow the cholesterol to be absorbed in your bloodstream. It will just let the cholesterol go in the gut. So very important. And that's how the fiber, it tricks the brain. It says that, it sends a signal to the brain, I'm full, I don't want anything. Like I showed you that picture, like the stomach picture, which has 400 calories, stomach full. So there's the hormones which gets secreted, and there is a hormone called, I think, leptin. It's a satiety hormone. It goes to the brain, it says, done, no more eating. So that's the fiber. As fiber found in plants, zero fiber in animal products, and soluble fiber, as I told you, pulls out excess cholesterol. so it doesn't let the cholesterol get absorbed. So let's see how much you have learned. Okay, I will ask some questions, and you have to tell me whether this is you can eat or you cannot. And those who fail to answer, I will ask them to come on the stage and no, just kidding. Don't worry. Okay, so what about French fries? Yes or no?
No.
Awesome, you guys are following me. Pizza with cheese? No, big no. Olive oil? No. Some people say healthy, but no, it's full of calories, high in fats. No olive oil, please. Did somebody say yes? Okay. Because again, it's like 9 calories per gram, right? You don't want that. You want to limit all your fats, low fat, make it low as much as possible. What about Saffola, hard healthy oil? Yeah, you guys remember. Dalda, vanaspati ghee, plant-based. No, why?
Milk.
Because 9 calories per gram, right? Doesn't matter it comes from plant or it comes from animal, it has 9 calories and fats. And fats, regardless of where it comes from, whether it comes from plant sources or animal sources, they are bad for you. Awesome. What about meat? No brainer. Top and down ice cream. Full of calories, full of fats, right? Saturated fats. You don't want that. What about lentils, our Indian lentils?
Yes.
Lovely. What about bananas?
Yes.
Okay. Rice?
Yes.
Okay, good. Mangoes?
Yes.
Yeah, this is important because some people think that being diabetic you cannot eat mangoes. There is a beautiful video from Sharan, India, from Major Pratap and Ryan, I think his wife name, I don't remember exactly. And they talked about that when they joined the Sharan program and they said that you can eat mangoes, they were really happy because they love mangoes. So, mango is no worry. And chapatis, of course, yes. Just when we are talking about mangoes, let me tell you this one important thing, that if you are diabetic, you can eat fruits and vegetables, just be careful with watermelon and pineapple. Those have like a bit of high glycemic index. High glycemic index means that the moment it enters your body, it can spike your glucose. You don't want that, right? But those who are not diabetic, feel free. You don't have to worry about it.
But even watermelons have a lot of quantities fiber in it.
I think I'm hearing 2 questions. One by one, please.
I said watermelons have a lot of fiber in it.
Yeah.
Yes, but because also it has high glycemic index, so that's an exceptional case. When you are diabetic, just be careful with watermelon.
But even mangoes have high glycemic.
No, mangoes have, if you see the glycemic index, there is a website you can go into, it's from, I think, Joel Fruman, I think, right? Australian guy, right? Yeah, I think Fruman, as far as I remember. And you can see the foods with high glycemic index, food with low glycemic index, and try to go on the low side. And the second question was from you?
No, doctors advise us that in limited quantities you can have it.
Yes, like doctors when they say, because they are, again, like most of the physicians, they are with the same old theory that limit, thoda sa chicken kha lo, thoda sa anda kha lo, thoda sa dudh pi lo, kuch nahi hoga. Lekin we are seeing evidence that even thoda sa is not good for you. So follow, like we have to be religious.
Again, rice is not advised for diabetics.
Yeah, that's a misconception. If you are having brown rice, certain rice, I will say white rice, like I will not say basmati is very good because I checked its glycemic index and it's low. And when you combine with dals and lentils, you decrease its glycemic index. So I will say rice is okay, but try to go like brown basmati rice because it has more fiber and everything. Yes, please.
Fruits can be eaten in the night also?
Yes, yes. It's a misconception if somebody says that fruits have a certain time. Again, then if you talk about Ayurveda, it's a different science. They have like timings for everything. But from modern medical science, you can eat fruits and vegetables anytime you want. There is no connection. There is no enough evidence which can say that fruits should not be consumed in the night. Okay. Yes, please.
Chapatis have gluten.
Yes.
So is that allowed?
Yes, it depends on, like if somebody is gluten sensitive, like Bhavna does a lot of nutrition coaching, and she has few people who comes to her and they cannot tolerate gluten. So then you have to be very careful because your body doesn't have enzymes to process gluten, right? For normal people, they can have gluten as much as they want, but certain people who have gluten sensitivity, they don't have the right enzymes, they should be careful with gluten. I think, yeah, hold on to your questions because we will have enough time after the lecture to answer your questions. But please, yeah, the last one.
Olive oil is plant-based, no?
Right. So my point is that olive oil, because it is plant-based, and another one, avocado, like it's a fruit very common in USA and we eat occasionally. These are very high in fats. So again, the problem is that we have to limit anything which is high in fats, even if it is like plant-based. Like for example, dalda ghee is plant-based, but high in fats, right? So anything which is high in fats, oil, ghee, animal food, animal product, we have to limit it, right? Just a second. Okay. Let's talk about the nutrition interventions. So I showed you a study which was an observational study, right? Now let's see if we can use that science to reverse conditions. Like for example, let's see if we can use a plant-based diet and help people lose weight. Let's see if we can use this diet to reverse diabetes. So I will show you just a minute. So this is our PCRM's weight control study. Just two rules. It was a randomized controlled trial, again a scientific term. It's a trial when we divide people into two groups, right? One group will have like two rules to follow: no animal products and minimize oils. And the second group, and no exercise, and it was a 14-week study, so it's all like one group. Those two conditions are for everybody. No exercise, 14-week study. Why we want to limit the exercise? Because we don't want that, people can say, oh, it was exercise or exercise in combination with diet. So we want to see, can diet is able to help people lose weight. So these were 49 women, and they were struggling with post-menopausal overweight problems. So we recruited them, we divided them into two groups. One group was asked that please don't eat any animal products. Another thing we asked is please minimize your oils, right? We want to avoid all the fats. The other group, we said that you can eat a controlled diet like recommended by doctors, little bit of chicken, little bit of fats, what they were eating. So we have like no recommendations like for them. So what happened? The results in 14 weeks, just 14 weeks. 6 kg weight loss in 14 weeks. 2-inch drop in waist measurement. Like people who are trying to lose weight, just imagine their feeling of 2-inch drop in just 14 weeks. They'll say, wow, this is good, this is working. And especially with those people who tried everything, and then when they try something like this, and just see the excitement they can have. And also, their insulin sensitivity increased. That means their insulin resistance decreased, right? So when you are insulin sensitive, that means your insulin is able to do its performance function, right? So when we saw this result, and let me show you a graph. So the blue line is for people who followed the plant-based diet, like minimize the oils and avoid animal products, and you can see there is a drop, and the drop is around like 6 kilograms. And for people who followed the normal diet, the year 1, they also dropped weight, but then the year 2, they regain the weight. So this diet is consistent, and it can be not like just like a 14-week phenomenon. You can see even after 2 years, their weight was low. So then we thought that if this diet is able to improve their insulin sensitivity, then why don't we try this diet with diabetes patients, right? That's what they want. They want their cells to become insulin sensitive. So for that study, we recruited 99 people with type 2 diabetes. And the control group, again, we asked them to follow the American Diabetes Association guidelines. Again, everything in moderation. Moderation word. Thoda follow, everything is fine. And like as I told you again, the same principle, set aside animal products, low fat and low glycemic index foods. It's a 22-week study with a 1-year follow-up. Let me show you the results. Hemoglobin A1C, you all know what is A1C, right? It's like how much blood is in, how much glucose is in your blood over a period of 3 to 4 months. So you see, like for A1C, for those people who followed the plant-based diet, it dropped from 8.07 to 6.84, almost 1.5 percentage points. While for those who followed the ADA guidelines, their drop was hardly like 0.4 or 0.5. So we prove this, that this diet alone can work. And we ask these people, you see, like individuals with no medication changes. We don't want people to change medications because then it can say it's the medication, right? So you can say this diet is working with people to lose weight and also to reverse diabetes. So what could be a typical day's meal like? Last time I didn't include this slide, but this time I thought that people, they want some kind of like support. Okay, can you recommend? Because normally we are used to eating eggs and milk, but this can be a typical day meal. In breakfast, you can have chai with almond or soy milk, poha, not in oil please. Oatmeal, try to go like hot cereals. Don't use those Kellogg's cold cereals because they are very high in glycemic index and also they are like processed. Don't worry about. Go for the hot ones. Brown rice dhokla, brown rice dosas with coconut chutney. Tons of options. It's all about whether we want to do it or not. If we want to go the regular way, then there is nothing. But if we really want to think about it, what we can eat, there are tons of options there. Lunch, dal with brown basmati rice and Punjabi rajma with plain roti, Navratan korma with rice and plain roti. And all these people like Bhavna and Reina, they are doing a lot of cooking sessions. Like they are teaching people how to cook oil-free food. So there is support available if you are interested. What we offer is we offer you the education and the resources, but then there are people in Bombay who will help you in your journey if you want. So where to begin? 6 best practices. I think you all can take notes of that. I think this is important for your thinking and you go discuss with your family. Involve the whole family. When the whole family is involved, we can achieve much more. Diet is first line, medications is alternate. Think about it, what you can do just with your diet. Think about it. Think that I'm not saying that don't take any medications because I want you to work with your doctor. But then your doctor will see the results and your medications will be gone. Be optimistic. You can do it. Don't just give up. If you don't see results in 2 weeks, don't think it's not working. Be optimistic, be positive, and I'm sure it will work. Everyone needs some nutritional counseling, so as I told you. And keep it evidence-based. As long as there is scientific evidence behind a recommendation, then you can follow it. 3 rules. This is a take-home message. I'm almost at the end of my presentation. I want you to take these 3 things from here. Number 1, set aside animal products, right? Number 2, keep the fats and oils low. Number 3, favor the low glycemic foods. And if you add some exercises, that's the whole complete package. Okay? Okay. 3 rules please from your side. Number 1, no animal products. Perfect. Number 2, oh that's good, that's awesome. Keep the fats and oils. Number 3, oh very good. So you guys are following and not sleeping here. That's very nice. And what about the complete package? What did I say? Exercise. Yes, great. So in summary, a well-planned plant-based diet is equal to healthy weight, diabetes prevention and management. You all agree with me? Yes, great. So we have some resources at PCRM.org India, resources specially dedicated for people of Indian origin. The recipes, the guidance, the support, it's all focused for people in India. And then we have 21daykickstartindia.org where you can again have recipes, support from registered dietitians, from Even we have Bollywood stars who are following plant-based diets, just like a motivation, inspiration. And it will tell you step-by-step process. How, if somebody wants to adopt a plant-based diet, what help do they need? Everything is there. So now this program doesn't require you to even register. So it's always available there, no daily emails. It's a new thing we have added to the program. So with that, I would like to, also one more thing, that we are having a conference in Washington DC, and this is open for doctors, physicians, and even for general public. So if you are interested, just let me know and I can arrange the letter for you to get a visa. Please go on the website.